Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome Mr. 𝐊𝐫𝐢𝐬𝐴. Mr. 𝐊𝐫𝐴 is a lecturer from APIIT of School of Computing. And today's session will be on AI and cybersecurity as an emerging career. Mr. 𝐊𝐫𝐴, the stage is all yours.
Thank you for the kind introduction, and good morning to everyone. So glad to see lots of students here to get to know about artificial intelligence a little bit and more into cybersecurity. So I'll ask a question. So we can do it in both languages, there's no problem, right? So who has to learn cybersecurity? Who has to learn cybersecurity? So only the people who complete their A-levels and get into a university and who is willing to do, who is passionate about cybersecurity, are the only people who have to learn cybersecurity? I have an answer.
Every person who use internet and day-to-day electronic appliances.
You actually is my work. So I'll pitch the second question. Who has to learn road safety? The safety rules in the road, the signs. That's why we sit for an exam before we get the driving license, right? It's in the process. We all learn the rules, how we have to be, how we have to behave in a road, and we should know the rules and regulations that we have to follow. So, can I make this road safety as a specialized degree program? You all would disagree. Why? So, it's a basic thing, no? We all have to learn. Why you all have to learn road safety? Because right, if we don't know anything about it, if someone is crossing on the road, if we don't know it's a pedestrian crossing, and we drive over them, and later on we think, hey, what can I do now? That happens, right? So how many of y'all thinking this road safety is a special thing? Or how many of y'all say that road safety is a basic thing where even a small kid who travels on the road should learn? Raise your hand, those who think it's a basic thing, even every person who uses the road should know about road safety. Raise your hand. Then why cybersecurity has to be a special thing? I think it's a different way of marketing, right? Specialized in cybersecurity. For me, cybersecurity has to be the very, very basic thing, not for our generation, especially for your generation, because your generation uses the internet a lot. There's nothing to be ashamed about it. You have to be proud about it. You're all using internet for everything, especially in the COVID-19 period. Internet was the only option we had, even for education, Zoom, even for entertainment, Netflix, even for bank transactions and all, right? Apps provided by different banks. And also, even to cook a meal, 𝐊𝐫𝐢𝐬𝐴 channel. That was the only option we had, right? Even at that time, many of y'all were isolated. We were under quarantine. So at that period, right, the internet was only the hope we had. Raise your hand, yes. So, if everyone has to learn road safety, then everyone has to learn internet safety. Internet safety, another term for safety is what? Security. Internet security. A fancy term for internet is what? Cybersecurity. So cybersecurity has to be learned by everyone who uses internet. It's a mandatory thing. The problem with the developing country like us, we learn the technology, but not the sequences of that. In other countries, they learn the sequence of that, the problems of that, the pros and cons of that, and then they use the technology. Even that's the same thing with the mobile phones that you have. We get the mobile phone, we use it, and later on only we realize, hey, it has these much of problems in it. Now we are going to face it. That's the mindset of us. But the proper way of dealing with it, first we have to know about it and use it. There's no problem in using internet. Everyone has to use. And nowadays we are highly dependent on internet. Why? ChatGPT. We all have to use ChatGPT. Even we are using it. Even most of the content in the slides are prepared by ChatGPT. So we can't get rid of it. But what is the problem? Because we don't know anything about internet and we are using it. In road, when we met with an accident, right, we see who else there are. Sometimes it's very rare we meet with an accident. If you are really, what? Conscious. But in internet, when you are connected, you only see your screen, right? You don't see any other things happening in the internet. So what we think is, this is my internet. If you couldn't access internet, what do you guys say? Hey, my internet is not working. Is your internet is working? No, my internet is also not working. Then whose internet is working? Hey, my internet is working. What is this language? My internet, your internet? No one owns internet. There's only one internet we call the internet. So like Sri Lanka has a highway, right? We have toll gates in the highway. Who owns those toll gates? No one. The government owns the toll gates. These toll gates are like the internet service providers who provide the access to the highway. Means what? Very much similar to the highway is what? The internet. So there's nothing called your internet, my internet, Dialog's internet, SLT's internet. There's only one internet. All these service providers are providing us a way of getting connected to this highway. There's one and only highway. That is the internet. But most of all think the internet is just our thing, and even your previous generation, even my parents think the internet is just there in the phone. The Facebook is there in the phone. So what I'm trying to say is, right, the most important part in using internet is you have to know the problems in the internet. So getting to know about the problems in the internet is we call learning cyber security. So like in the roads we have different accidents. What we have in internet? Cyber attacks. Even Sri Lanka recently faced a cyber attack. Even I don't want to praise it as a cyber attack. People say it's phishing or something else. For me, according to my understanding, it's just an internal attack. We call internal fraud. Right? It's not that much easy to conduct a cyber attack like that. That's how even the news channels praise it, but it's something else. It's not a pure, perfect cyber attacks that is normally happening in the world. Can I get some idea about the recent, cyber attacks that you guys know? There are many people who have answered my questions. Have you heard about an attack called ransomware? No? Phishing? So phishing, is it a technical attack or? So there are two types of attacks, right? Where we have to have a good technical knowledge to conduct those attacks. And there are other types of attack. The majority of the attacks are much into tricking human. So I'll tell you, right, an attack, a cyber attack, can only be possible, or you can be only get affected by a cyber attack if you are weak. What did I say? If you are weak. There's a nice term for this weakness in cybersecurity. We call what? Vulnerability. If you are weak only, an attack can target you. Otherwise, there's no way to attack. You don't get attacked. So what is that we call? Vulnerability. There are 4 types of weaknesses. You check whether you have those weaknesses. The first weakness is protocol weakness. Have you heard about protocols in internet? HTTP, HTTPS. What's the difference between HTTP and HTTPS? Sir, it's a very small question. That S is the different. Yes, true. That S is for security. We could say, if you much technically approach that, we call it TLS, SSL, security. So normally your HTTP conversation, can I get an example for an HTTP conversation? The conversation that you and me have with Facebook. If you're accessing Facebook from your mobile phone, it's an HTTP conversation. If you're not using that S, that's also fine, but everyone else can even read and understand your conversation. Is it good? That's why we should go for a secure conversation. Right, you know that problem, right? So if you're using HTTP, yes, it's speed, it can do the needful, you can get the images, you can do whatever with Facebook, but your information can be read by someone else who can tap it. Any idea about the tools that you know, how to tap the wireless conversations here? There's a tool called Wireshark. It can capture every communication that you do, right? If that information is not encrypted, again another term, encrypted, you know, encryption, anyone can read and understand the information. So such communication we call plain text communication. The communication which are encrypted, and only the sender and the receiver. In this case, if I'm accessing Facebook, I'm the sender. Who is the receiver? Facebook. Or we call client server. Who is the client? Me, my web browser, or your app can be the client. Who is the server? One and only Facebook. So this would be the same with the Instagram also. Who is the client? Whatever you use to access Instagram, it can be a mobile app, it can be a web browser, if we are using a computer, right? And the server would be Instagram. So this is what we call client-server architecture or client-server communication, right? So what you guys have to get connected to the internet? You have to have the necessary devices and the connection, internet connection. Most important thing is you have to pay for your ISP. Then they would, it's like a toll gate, that's why I said. You can see the highway, but no one would be letting in until you pay. So that is the service they provide, right? So once you are in the internet, you can access all these services. One of the services is web services. So normally the conversation is plain text. That is harmful. Anyone can read and understand your information. That's how the information get leaked. Then there's a solution for that. Instead of HTTP, you can use HTTPS. But still, if you're using HTTP, it's a protocol weakness. You're using a weak protocol. By knowing that, this information would be exposed. Are you getting it? What is the first type of weakness? Protocol weakness. Configuration weakness, second type. So you can buy a wonderful device in the world. So why people are going for iPhones? But if you compare the features and the freedom, Android phones are better than iPhones, right? But still, why people go for iPhones? Any idea? And it's costing a lot as well, right? The prices are so high. But when we compare a phone like a normal Android phone, right, you have more features here than the iPhone. Why we still go for iPhones? Why? What's the reason? There's only one and only reason, that is information security. So whatever the information that you have in your iPhone is something should not be leaked. If that information goes out, it's almost like, you know, putting you in real trouble. Do you have such information? Can be, right? Even a personal information. The wealthiest resource in the world these days, not gold, not platinum, what? The personal information. The personal information. So there is a huge demand for your personal information in the dark web. So many people are good at stealing your information and sell it in the dark web. They can sell, especially your healthcare information. Let's say that they identify you as, let's say there are many patients here, for example, for a particular disease. So that information has to be kept secret, right? Why? Because if someone get to know about it, they can, you know, target you, as well as they can sell this information to all the pharmaceutical companies. Then they can. That's the reason why you guys sometimes get some, you know, healthcare tips and all, right, all these medicine information and all. So this is how your information get leaked. So the first type of weakness, can I get that? What is the first type of weakness? Protocol weakness. What is the second type of weakness? That's what we are discussing. Configuration weaknesses. It's not all about getting the right devices. We have to have the right settings. We have to configure it properly. Have you heard about a device called firewall? IDS IPS systems, antivirus software. We can buy all those things in the world, but if we don't know how to configure it properly, still our information can be leaked. So what is the second type of weakness? Configuration weakness. Third type of weakness. Can any guesses? We learned protocol weakness, configuration weakness. The most important weakness, system weakness. The computers, whatever the devices that you buy, so normally you go for patching, right? Patching systems, system updates. How many people skip that? We'll do it later. So no software in the world come up with a perfect security. Why they are not making it perfect? Because they would lose the market. Normally it takes years and years to fully test a software without, someone could hack that. They have to test it, no? But if I use 1 year to keep a software and keep on testing it, I would lose the market. So what these vendors do, they say iPhone, I don't know the modern version, let's say iPhone 15. They advertise it. Then only I think they would start the production. Then they have to quickly release it with the given time to capture the market. But if that computer has to be fully, or that mobile phone has to be fully tested, it takes years and years. But if they're fully testing it, they would lose the market. So what they do? They put the production into they sell the product. Now the problem is not their problem, right? The problem has been transferred to you. Why? You buy that phone, you are using that phone, now your information. Now they emerge like gods and say, hey, please update this, otherwise your information would be leaked. Are you getting this? Are you getting this? So normally, ideally, all devices have to be updated properly and given to you, right? But they ask you to get the device, and later on they try to patch you like, they emerge like gods and say that, hey, patch it, otherwise your information would be leaked. So if you're not patching it, that is what we call a hole, a loophole, which can be misused, which can put your device in trouble. Such weaknesses we call system weaknesses. What is the most critical weakness, the final one? I told you 4 types of weakness. We learned protocol weakness, configuration weakness, system weaknesses. What is the 4th one? The user weakness. There is no stop for human stupidity. You can have a perfect device, perfectly configured device. You are using all the secure protocols. Still, you are using HTTPS as a secure protocol. But still, you can click a link in an email. How you are clicking that? What made you to click that? Because of the story. They nicely, trick you. They trick you. They are playing with your emotions. You don't believe. Many people are in this perception. Hacking is all about wearing a hat. And all these hackers are using these technologies like, technical skills and all. No, that is just 10% of the world. 90% of the hackers just trick not the computers, not the devices, but the users of the computers. Who are they? Human. Because humans can be tricked easily. Now today at the end of this session, right, you are getting a nice email saying that, hi, I'm Krishna, one of your resource person today. How was the session? I think you guys have enjoyed really well. Just click this link to get the slides that I used. What would you do? Without even thinking, you would click that. Why? The facts are true, right? You attend this workshop, it's from Future Minds. But there can be loads of people here and there. They know I'm 𝐊𝐿𝐴 𝐾𝐸. They introduce me. Even that is there in the slide. Someone over there can take a small photo of it and zoom that. They can find my information. Generally search in the internet. They can find my email addresses. And here we know, right, there are many students from Nalanda and other schools as well here. So then just searching about grade 13, grade 14 students, right? So they can get some information about you people, right? Then send a mass email. What is the content? Even the entire BMICH knows, right? I'm conducting a session on cybersecurity. How was the session? Was it good? I saw loads of people are really engaging in that. If you want the slides, so many people want the slides, they would click that. So once they click that, then the rest of the story begins. Are you getting this? So conducting a social, this for such attack, where they are tricking human, has become the 90% of the cyber attacks. Do you believe that? 90%ක්ම වෙන්නේ මිනිසුන්ව trick කරලා. For such attacks we call what? Social engineering, tricking human. So whatever that comes to our mind whenever we speak about cybersecurity is like a person wearing a hat and all right, hacking into systems. There are binary numbers running here and there. That is just a drama. You can't do it that much easily. Can I hack your mobile phone or can I hack you? Which one is easy? Hacking the human is easy. By giving some nice stories, because we are emotionally bound. We can be tricked. Though we say the perfect human in the world, but we are emotionally bound. There's a way to trick anyone in this world. There's a way. But systems cannot be tricked easily. But the users of the systems can be tricked easily. Do you agree with me? So 90% of the cyber attacks are conducted by tricking the user. In other words, targeting user weaknesses. So can I get all those 4 weaknesses that hackers would target? If one of those weaknesses there, it can be either system weakness, protocol weakness, configuration weakness, or human weaknesses, or we call user of the system weaknesses. Anyone is available. If they find it, they can target you. So what is the best way of surviving in this world? Not to expose our weaknesses. That's why even our parents say, right, don't speak a lot with strangers. Don't even have a conversation for more than 15, 20 minutes. My parents would, get up and scold me. Hey, you're exposing your weaknesses. Yes. If you have a conversation for nearly more than 10 or 15 minutes, without our intention, we might lose our weaknesses. So how to survive in this world? Either you have to be isolated without speaking with anyone. That way is not possible in your era. But what is the best way? Yes, we have to use internet, but not exposing our weaknesses. Are you getting this? So we'll quickly get into these slides. So have you got the platform for this? Right? So tell me the 4 types of weaknesses. System weakness, I'll start with it. Can everyone say? Protocol weakness. Configuration weakness, excellent. So how many of you all know, now AI has been captured many streams, right? Isn't it? And people are in a mindset that we would lose all the existing jobs and can be replaced by AI, right? How many of you all know there can be new jobs because of AI? So nothing to worry. There can be some jobs which would be obsolete because of the AI. Maybe the clerical work, data entry things and all right. We can use some AI to do this. But there would be some more jobs created because of a technology. So 50 years ago, have you all ever thought about, like you guys were not there at that time. So even a computer would have been thought as a threat, right? Hey, computer තියෙනවා දැන් අපිට jobs නැහැ. එහෙනම් මොකද computer එකක් ආවට පස්සේ දැන් අවුරුදු 50කට කලින් අඩේ computer එකක් එන්න දෙන්න බෑ. ඒක ආවොත් එimhe අපේ jobs නැති වෙනවා. එහෙම හිටපු කාලයක්. ඉතින් computer එකක් ආවට පස්සේ කොච්චර jobs ගාණක් ඇති වුණාද? Computer engineering, computer thing, then computer security, internet එකක් ආවට පස්සේ internet security. So nothing to be afraid about this AI. AI is in its peak now. Because of that, there would be some old jobs that you would be losing, but there are new jobs would be created. As per the statistics, right, there are nearly 15,000 new jobs are introduced by what? AI. And only losing 500 or 600 jobs that were there. It's getting replaced by AI. Are you getting it? One of the jobs due to this AI is AI security engineers. So artificial intelligence, now what cyber attackers do? They are not using traditional methods. They are using artificial intelligence to conduct cyber attacks. So our next problem is, what now? AI security. How to protect AI systems That is AI security. So there's a new job already created. One of the, if you're not trusting me, just take your mobile phones. I don't think so, right? You have the mobile phones and just search what are the new job roles created by the industry, which job role has a huge demand. You would get this AI security engineer. For that, you have to know artificial intelligence and cyber security to get into that position. So have you heard about something called prompt injection? What is a prompt? What is prompt engineering? So that's what you do, right? So the future would be, not even the future, now the present, even present to the future would be, how quickly you can get the work done using ChatGPT, for an example. We call LLM, large language models. How quickly you can get the work done using softwares like ChatGPT. Isn't it so? So if you want to get the work done very quickly by these models, what do you have to do? You have to know how to ask, how to give them the right instruction to get the work done. For an example, if you want to create a software, if you want to get the answers perfectly at the very first instance, you have to ask in that way. If you're asking 10,000 times, that means what? We don't say ChatGPT is weak. You don't know how to get the work done. You don't know the right questions to be asked. So to get to know the right questions to be asked is what we call prompt engineering. මොකද කිව්වේ? දැන් කරන්න දෙයක් නැහැ. කොහොමද වැඩක් කරගන්නේ? මේ වගේ ChatGPT වගේ large language models use කරන කොහොමද වැඩක් කරගන්නේ කියන එක. Are you getting? So how to hack a mobile phone? If it's not giving you the answer, then you have to trick the ChatGPT. First time when you ask about hacking questions in the ChatGPT, what they say, it's offensive, I can't teach you. Isn't it? But there's a way to trick the ChatGPT. Actually, I'm not tricking it. They get to know that I'm a cybersecurity lecturer because I'm always introducing myself as a cybersecurity lecturer. Because of that only, I want to learn this. And I have to teach my all ethical hacking students about, I do it in an ethical way. Then they prompt to give us the answer. So what you have done basically, social engineering is to trick human. Now I have tricked the chatbot in a way to reveal the answer. So this is what we call, is it good? No. Prompt injection. How we can trick a bot like ChatGPT to reveal unnecessary information. So you know about Siri, there's a bot called Siri, right? Has anyone used that? And there's a bot from Dialog called Dia, an assistant, right, to solve all your dialogue related, ISP related issues. Do you have any experience with that? No. Sure. So what are the bots that you guys have used already? AI related bots? Gemini. What else? Any production things that you are not using? Chessboard player. So they are already given some instructions, right? When you're making a chatbot for a particular thing, they give some instructions for that. What? They say, don't reveal these kind of things. Only answer for these questions only. So let's say from one of the service providers, I'll take it as an example, like Dialog. They have come up with a LLM model for us to get our problems sorted with Dialog. And if, for an example, if you want to convert from the packages, right? From post packages to pre thingy, right? So we don't want to have a human involved in that. Even a small chatbot can be trained to answer these questions. We can chat with it. But if I can trick that and get all the Dialog's information, all the professionals' information, all their information, then that is what we call prompt injection. We are tricking the bot and we are making it reveal very sensitive information which they are not to reveal. So that is prompt injection, right? So I told you about AI and AI security alert. Let's quickly go through the slides that I have. So cybersecurity, protecting all your information. Wherever there is information, that has to be protected. So can an industry survive without information? No. Wherever there is information, there comes the cybersecurity. We have to protect that information. Have you heard about Stuxnet? Stuxnet, S-T-U-X-N-E-T. This is a malware targeted Iran's nuclear plant in 2010. So now only we are speaking about this war, right? USA and Iran war. It started long time ago, but not as a physical war. What is that war? Cyber war. So this malware called what? Stuxnet targeted Iran's nuclear plant. They want to spoil the entire uranium production. Are you getting it? For nuclear we use uranium, right? There's something called uranium enrichment. So there are some software, engineering softwares, which can control the centrifuges, or we call gas centrifuge, which enrich this uranium. Are you getting it? In a brief way, I told you. So hackers targeted this engineering software. That software name is PC7 Stepman software. That is used by engineers in the nuclear plant. They hack those software. They control the way now the uranium enrichment process works. There are some settings now. These people have changed the settings. So ultimately, they're going to spoil all the uranium products. Are you getting it? So this is not an IT thing. This is something, an engineering thing, but it's an attack. How many of you heard about pacemakers? Pacemaker. So what is the role of pacemaker? Can someone answer? They regulate heartbeat. So how many of you know this pacemaker has become an IoT device? Pacemakers have become an IoT device. That means what? Through internet, someone can get into these devices. We call them what? Internet of Things. So if someone can get into your computer, why can't they get into the pacemaker, which is already implanted in your heart and can control? Are you getting the seriousness of it? So that is something into the healthcare now. I told two cases, right? One is in engineering. Another one is on healthcare. So cybersecurity, wherever they have information, you have to learn about it. So cybersecurity is not just confined to IT. Cybersecurity is a general thing. Wherever there is an information, all have to learn. Right. So these are some common cyber attacks that you guys know. Malware. A good malware that I told you, right? Stuxnet, we call it a worm. Virus, worm, keylogging, keyloggers, Trojan horses, backdoors. These are different types of malwares. Don't think there is only one type of malware called virus. All malicious software that simply harm someone would be considered as a malware. So tell me the different malware I told you now. Virus, worm, botnet, sorry, not botnet, what is that? Backdoor, keyloggers, Trojan horses, and there are many more. Right? I think you guys have learned it. And the current problem nowadays is what? Phishing and ransomware. How ransomware works? Can anyone give me a clue? Have you heard about encryption? 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 So ransomware is something that get into your computer. Let's say tomorrow you have to submit your final assignment kind of. Today they get into that and encrypt it and take the keys with them. It's like someone would put you into the door while you're sleeping and lock it and take the key and go. And later on they call you and ask, hey, the key is with me. If you pay this much of money, I'll give you the key. You think it's a very simple thing, but let's say, right, a big business is going to happen tomorrow. There's a contract to be signed tomorrow, a big multi-billionaire business. But today, that file got encrypted, and tomorrow the things has to be presented and has to be signed. What would happen? If someone claimed for a ransom, definitely they would pay. But how many people can guarantee that, once they pay, they would release the key? No, there's no way. Because these conversations, these transactions happen in what? Bitcoins or cryptocurrencies. Even you can't complain, hey, I paid this much of amount for this, but they didn't release me the key. No one knows who is there. And don't think these hackers are very innocent people, right? When they pay you, they would release the key. That is your mindset. They are anyway harmful. They are anyway bad people. That's why they encrypted your thing. Are you getting it? So that is something called ransomware attack. And now, you guys already learned about social engineering, tricking human. So phishing is actually part of tricking human called social engineering. There are loads of attacks called reverse social engineering, baiting techniques. There's something called, right, you have a pen drive in your classroom. It's labeled as what? A 2026 maths exam paper. And you find it in the classroom. Most of the time, you think this is from your class teacher, and you could find the exam papers. Even I do. When you plug that into your laptop, your motherboard crashes. And what is that then? We call USB killers. Even you can buy USB killers in the market. It looks like a USB. When you plug that, your motherboard crashes. So that is something tricking you to plug that, even if that can have some malware in it. Are you getting it? Right. So role of cybersecurity. Why you all have to learn cybersecurity? You understood that. Everyone has to learn cybersecurity whenever there is information in it. Right. What is hacking? Ethical hacking. Why we learn ethical hacking? To understand hacker's mindset. Why we all have to understand hacker's mindset? To hack someone? No. Then only we can safeguard our things perfectly. Right? Actually, there are 5 steps followed by hackers in the world. Right? How many steps? We call ethical hacking 5 phases. I quickly go through that. So what is the first phase? Reconnaissance. Collecting information about others. How they can collect information about you? You're already revealing information in the social media now. You are the celebrities in the world who entertain others for no money. So whatever you think, wherever you go, you post it in the Facebook. So you're entertaining, you're trusting. If I ask you what's your mother's maiden name, no one would reveal it. It's a very sensitive information because most of the passwords are that. But you would have revealed that information to Mark Zuckerberg, right? It's somewhere there in the Facebook. Why? You would have celebrated that. Your mom's birthday, even without wishing your mom, you would have wished your mom in the Facebook. But unfortunately, she is not in the Facebook also. You want to show to the others, right, the rest of the world, you are really caring about your mom, but you haven't wished your mom. But she is not in the Facebook as well. So likewise, whatever things we do in the social media or in the internet, though you delete it, that is not a permanent deletion. It would be indexed somewhere else. It can be revealed after some time. So that's how your information is getting leaked. If I want to hack or if I want to put you in trouble, the first thing I refer is what? The social media and see whether sensitive information has been revealed. So if you can stop revealing your sensitive information, hackers have no way to get into the other phases. What is the second phase? They collect all your sensitive information, then look for any weaknesses in it. That is finding weaknesses. If there's a weakness, then they write a script to exploit it and get the control. Once they are in your system, they want to maintain the access, right? By collecting all the information. And finally, it's not a charity work or something, it's a crime, no. They erase all the evidence. That's what we call covering tracks. Can everyone tell me the 5 phases of hackers? Gathering information, we call reconnaissance. Scanning for weaknesses. Exploiting one of the weaknesses through some technical skills or like, tricking human. It can be anything based on the weakness. Then they stay in your system for a long time without getting caught. We call APT, Advanced Persistent Threat. They can be there in your system for a long time without getting noticed by your antivirus software or whatever, because their work is very slow. And finally, once they are done with it, once they collected the needed information from your system, they do what? Covering tracks. They leave. Are you getting it? Right. Can someone tell me the 5 phases once again? Reconnaissance, scanning, exploiting, maintaining access, and covering tracks. So these are the upcoming trends in cybersecurity. I told you about AI. So AI has become a problem for cybersecurity a lot. And we have to find a way of even protecting AI systems. So artificial intelligence, there's something called zero-day trust. Have you heard about cloud security, cloud computing? So there's a part called cloud security, because many of you are using cloud computers now, AWS and web services a lot. And finally, ransomware. Ransomware has become one of the notorious cyber attacks in the world. They can simply put you at any time in trouble. Not you guys. If they realize you as one of the specialized person, if your information is really worth, they would target you. There's a myth in Sri Lanka. Hey, when we compare with USA, we are not getting any cyber attacks. That means what? It doesn't mean that you are really have good cybersecurity professionals. We are not even considered as useful. Even hackers are not even thinking about hacking us. That's the thing. Okay? So ransomware attack is the most critical problems we have in the upcoming cybersecurity world. Then carriers. So this is the objective of today's session. So I can't just say about cybersecurity carriers, right? Or job opportunities. These are the latest job opportunities after the introduction of AI. What is the first opportunity? AI security engineer. How we can protect AI systems. Okay? Second, pen testers, ethical hackers. Hacker and ethical hacker, what is the difference? Both are same, but we do it for a good, bad? No. We do it with the permission, we call it ethical. Without permission, it's unethical. Even for a good cause, if you are not getting the permission, it's unethical. There's nothing called good and bad here. Ethical or unethical, with permission or without permission. So what these penetration testers do? Let's say you start an organization, you have many computers in that. You want to test that computers whether they are hackable or not. So what is the best way? You hire these pen testers, they execute, they work like cyber attackers, they find the loopholes and they inform you, hey, if you have these loopholes, hackers would get into this machine and get the control of it, so please patch this. So that's the role of these penetration testers. Then we have cloud engineers, threat hunters. Threat hunting is one of the highly anticipated jobs now, because they identify the problems. Before the problem happens, hackers, right, the 5 phases, right? They can't get into a system without following the 5 phases. If you can identify a hacker in the recon phase, in the gathering information phase, then you can stop that. So that role is threat hunting. Then digital forensic and incident response, because there's something called digital data that you are dealing with. So there's digital forensic. If you want to identify digital crimes, right, that is another area. Likewise, we have cybersecurity specialist, even academics. You can focus on becoming a cybersecurity engineer or cybersecurity researcher, cybersecurity scientists. There can be, there's a possibility. And the SCADA security engineer is a good example for what? That's Stuxnet. SCADA systems are like to automate engineering systems. So SCADA engineer, even now you search in the internet, there are job opportunities for SCADA engineers, SCADA security engineers. Okay? The conclusion. So cybersecurity is not just an area where only IT people have to learn. Everyone uses the internet has to learn cybersecurity. And ethical hacking is a niche portion of cybersecurity where they learn hackers' mindset. We call it offensive security, right? And emerging trends, yes, you guys learned about the cybersecurity's emerging trends. The emerging trend is what? AI security. So with that information, I'm going to wind up today's session. If you have any questions on the things I have covered, or if you all really wanted to know about the careers in cybersecurity and how you guys have to get into this, it's over to you. Thank you. Any question to me? So please make this session very useful because you guys have come from your schools. So don't be afraid about your languages or whatever, right? You can speak in any language, Sinhala, English, Tamil. Those are the 3 languages I know, basically. A question, anything? No? How many people are willing to pursue a career in IT? Raise your hand. Assume this as an interview I'm asking. How many people are willing to pursue a career in IT? So what would happen to the rest then? No IT? What's your passion?
I just want that.
Okay. So only 1 or 2? So how many of y'all have to learn cybersecurity? Who are interested on learning cybersecurity, not for your career? Raise your hand. You have to get to know about cybersecurity and the problems in it. And you guys are not using internet then? So guys, here, these are the people who does not know anything about cybersecurity. You can start hacking them then. So you have test cases now. You can start. Get their names and information. You can start. No, I'm just kidding, right? Everyone has to learn cybersecurity, not to pursue a career in cyber, but to protect yourself from internet. So then, thank you, guys. Have a nice day.